In a new release of TechlifyHR, we've introduced a feature that allows you to replace the supplementary payroll with a statutory deduction rollover directly into your next payroll. Now, this is very useful for cases where you have GRA releasing a new threshold, let's say in February this year, and you would have already run your January payroll, but your employees need to benefit from that extra statutory deduction. So if you go to Administration and you go to the Features tab, you'll see there's an option, Statutory Deduction Yearly Aggregation. You want to turn this on because it's off by default. And let's look at an example. So we have two employees. Employee John makes $300,000 per month, and employee Jimmy makes $150,000 per month. I've already run January payroll for John and Jimmy. So John, you'll see his statutory is 100, 1/3, and Jimmy, his statutory is 85,000 because the January payroll was run with the 2023 configuration here. And if you further look at the PAYE rate 1 and rate 2 breakdowns, you need to calculate this. You'll see that John is paying 170,000 at 28%, and the balance being 30,000 at 40%, whereas with the 2024 configuration, he would pay 0 at 40%. So we're overcharging him PAYE here. Now, previously, again, you needed to create a supplementary payroll to get the difference, but now, once you've enabled this feature, let's go ahead and create a new payroll, and just hit create payroll, and I'll work with the same branch. So Canada, the IT department, you'll see employee John, employee Jimmy here. And I'll just say that, hey, I'd like to create February's payroll. Now, once I hit save, payroll gets created. And if we go to the pay sheet here, you'll notice that, let's take Jimmy first. The statutory deduction is 115,000. And of course, the threshold is 100,000, but TechlifyHR automatically rolls over the $15,000, which would have been his balance from January, over to his February payroll. So this employee gets the benefit from that $15,000 extra. In the case with John, if you had run his calculations, he should be paying a bit over $51,000 in taxes. So he gets a $2,000 or thereabout reduction from 2023. However, you notice this is reduced by almost $4,000, and that's because the extra taxes that he paid in January gets deducted from his February payroll. So these values rather are automatically rolled over to these employees, and that is how our new statutory deduction yearly aggregation feature works in TechlifyHR. Now, there are a few things to note. Previously in TechlifyHR, if an employee had a salary of, let's say, 50,000, but a statutory deduction was 100,000, on the payroll, you would see 100,000 being the amount. Now, the statutory deduction shown on the payroll will be the minimum that the employee is actually paying, which is 50,000 in this case. So that's one adjustment that would come with the new feature. So just keep that in mind when you are using this feature.